So hello to all the people that find this channel. I have some stuff up here, posted on here from a while ago, but I never really gave a fair introduction to this channel. So here it is. So I'm called KSR Guitars. Used to be called Riffs and Ideas. The channel might be called something else right now. I'm not 100% sure. The old name didn't change yet, so um, I'm here to run through my collection and tell you a little bit behind my guitars and how I got them. Um, so first off, we'll start with my oldest one, the one I've had the longest so far, which is this one right here. It is a BC Rich ASM1. I think this one was made from the serial number back here. I think this one was made in China back in like 2011 of like April something, if I recall correctly. Got this thing for 120 bucks. It was a confirmation present from my parents, and it is my favorite one. You might be saying, "Oh, well, why isn't that one your favorite, the Warlock or the Mockingbird?" Um Now if I didn't have this guitar, one of them would be my favorite, but I like this one because it's like my first one, and two, I'm just so comfortable with this guitar compared to the other ones that it just, to me, it feels and plays great. I like it. The tuning, I pretty much keep all my guitars in one tuning, and the tuning of this one is in E flat standard, or not standard, drop D flat. Whoops, that's a different guitar I have. Um, I just keep it locked in here, locked in that tuning because I play, well, Alice in Chains, some Seether, um, some System of a Down, just a couple songs like that, Breaking Benjamin. So I have a guitar, locked in that tuning, pickup, easy to play, instead of having to tune all the time, and a lot of people that own a lot of guitars kind of know that. You may see here that there's a little bit of tape here. That's because that toggle switch doesn't like to lock into place, so I have to tape that back. Otherwise, it'll be going through both pickups. So, and it just doesn't sound as good as the bottom one. So, on to the one I've had the second longest. I'll grab that one real quick. Okay, hopefully this is better. It is this Ibanez GIO. Pretty standard. Got it at the pawn shop for about, I think this one ran me 90 bucks. Plays great, sounds good for a really good price. This one's an E flat standard, and this one's for like Alice in Chains and also Seether. There's a couple other bands I'm forgetting of right now, but yeah, like the Load stuff from Metallica, that kind of stuff. And it's just another guitar I can have for that tuning, so I don't have to, tune or mess with my other stuff. So yeah, there's really nothing special about this guitar. It's an Ibanez GIO, fairly simple, not very expensive. I will say in the back here, I'm not going to take the plate off, but you may be able to see in there, there's a chunk of wood. With this Ibanez Floyd Rose bridge here, there was I think something with the spring or something, where it just kept wanting to pop up, or the strings would pull it up, so it wouldn't really, it'd stay in tune for a day, and then the next day I'd pick it up and it would go back out of tune. So I just wedged a piece of wood in there so it would stay, and this thing really just doesn't go out of tune. It tunes fine. It always stays in tune. Same with that red one. That red one's pretty good for that too. Um, Same with the Warlock, but I'm gonna introduce another guitar next. So I'll be right back. Okay, now here we got, it's a Telecaster, but it's not Fender. It's a brand called MG, which is British, supposedly. I looked them up. I couldn't find much on them, but that's the basic thing that I got from it. It's covered in sawdust, um, and just dust, because I don't touch this one. I strung it up. I was gonna put this one in drop C, but the neck is so bad on it. Like, the action, well, it's actually, the action ain't bad now. It was really bad. I just don't have a care to play it. But I do love collecting guitars, and I honestly don't think me keeping this around does this guitar justice. Maybe if I got another neck, I'd play it more, but I don't know. It just doesn't do it justice, because it's a good looking guitar, but it just, the action of the strings and the rattling of it, especially with this bridge here, it it's a hassle for me right now. I haven't gotten it figured out, and I just keep putting it aside, because I've got, out of the 8 guitars I have, I pretty much play 5, and there's 3 that just kind of sit around, and this is one of them. And I do feel bad about it, but I don't know. There's just not much I can do for it right now, or not that I really want to, as bad as that sounds, but that's just the truth. I also did buy this guitar for 70 bucks at my pawn shop, and I was just gonna get it for the neck. And this was like years ago. I've been playing guitar for like 4 years now, but this is like years ago, and I bought it for the neck for the next guitar I'm about to show you, and I'll explain why the neck is still on this one and not on that one. Okay, this is the guitar that I bought the other one for, that one's neck. This is the other one I have. I don't touch this one at all. It stays in a case, and it's because I don't have it. It needs work, and I, one, don't have the time nor the will to do it right now. I got this from my dad's friend. Um, but as you see, this is a Les Paul style, and the neck is kind of unique. Not unique per se, but the neck from that one won't work on this one. Different holes for the screws, and just a different, I don't know, layout, I guess, where it sits on the body. So it was just really awkward. And it just didn't really work. The reason why this neck is shot is the truss rod. The truss rod won't really do anything. It just spins and doesn't grab. It's just kind of broke. Otherwise, the guitar is cool. I never got to plug it in. It's always kind of been broken, and I want to fix it one day, but as of right now, it's just been on hold for a long time. And I don't know if anyone sees this video and could tell me more about Hondo. I've never heard of them before, so all I know so far is that, just by looking at this, is just kind of a Les Paul ripoff, but maybe it's better, maybe it's not. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna show you the next one in my lineup, and I'll be right back. Okay, the next one is my Warlock. Bought this one for 120 bucks at my pawn shop. Most of my gear, actually, literally, like, I want to say 95% of my gear came from the pawn shop, which is luckily for me because it's right down the road. Got this for 120 bucks. I bought this one, and my buddy that was supposed to be my bassist, but it just never really worked out. He bought a Warlock bass as well, and that one was actually, like, it wasn't in good condition, but if it was in good shape, the guitar would have been awesome, because it was a black Warlock bass, with gold hardwares, and it was custom shop California, USA, and BC, USA, BC Riches are awesome, just absolutely awesome. but I just love BC Riches in general. These pickups are good, but the problem with this guitar is I play it in this pickup only, because for some reason this one here doesn't work, or just doesn't give feedback. So I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet. But this one here works, but as you can see, it's got some play. So like, say if I flop this forward, the pickup will jiggle around, but it still works. I would fix that, but the Floyd Rose bridge on this thing makes it so hard to, because I would have to de-string this thing and dig into that and then try to string it back again, and I just don't feel like doing it. So when it starts to not work, then I'll go for it, but until then, this guitar sounds good. This one's in a drop D tuning, for like Godsmack, um, Godsmack, Foo Fighters, bands like that. It doesn't really do that tuning justice. Not saying those bands are bad, but I just can't remember all the stuff that I play on them. But this guitar is awesome. I love the purple finish on it. And my goal is just to have a guitar of almost each body style. And so far, I'm kind of doing a good job, in my opinion. On to my next one. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're on to maybe the one everybody has been looking at from this angle here. This is my BC Rich Mockingbird Pro X2 Outlaw, as you can see right there. This thing, I like it. It sounds clean, really clean. I kind of wish it didn't have the Seymour Duncans, more like, I wish I had EMGs in it, but I bought it that way. Got it off of Guitar Center. Had to have it shipped over to my local one. It costed about $310 with the whole thing, but the guitar itself was just $280. It was it's a good guitar. I love it, and I just jumped on it right away because the Mockingbird is my dream guitar body style. I just want another one because you can never have too many of them, in my opinion. Matte black with the yellow outline here and the gold hardware. It's really good. This one's in D standard for Metallica, like Sad But True, and what's the other one that I did? Dream No More. And then for like Volbeat's Warrior Call and a couple other songs. What's that song? It's by Black Label Society. Overlord by Black Label Society. I love this guitar. I recently found out, like, cause for me with pickups though, I never really researched into them. I just know EMGs are good, and I just kind of mess around with the tone knobs on my guitars. I don't really swap them out to get the tone I want. I like the tone that comes with them. I just adjust it. But with these ones, they're active pickups. So in the back here, I did not know this because I never really paid attention. That this here, in here, for the people that know, and if they ever run across this, is for a 9-volt battery for my active pickups, and I did not know that. So when I first got this guitar, it sounded really good, clean, really clean. And then after that, I was just kind of struggling with tone because that battery died and it sounded dull. After I replaced it, sounds really good. Other than that, there's not really much more I can say or tell you about this. Other than this guitar was made in Indonesia. And I'll show you my most recent one real fast. And this is my most recent purchase so far. Not taking away from the guitar, but maybe you can see the wall there too. Those are some of my bands, or not my bands, but my favorite bands, like Five Finger Death Punch, Caroline Spine. If anyone's sees this and knows them, let me know. Striper, if anyone's a Striper fan, let me know too. You know, a bunch of Metallica, Megadeth down there, Alice in Chains. And then my strings that are on my Mockingbird, the Eddie Van Halen ones. First time I ever used them, but otherwise I normally go with the nickel wound Darios, the orange ones, not the purple ones. I tried them once, didn't care for them, but I normally go with these orange ones here. And then you see Rocksmith too. I like to play Rocksmith. I don't know if that changes your opinion on me or not, but yeah. Anyway, back to the point. This guitar here, my most recent purchase for about $150 at my local pawn shop. I saw it, walked in, saw it, I'm like, oh my god. You know, I better just check the price, see what the price is on it. Doesn't hurt to look, and if it was reasonable, I'm like, I'm getting this thing. I don't care. And it was $150. I'm like, yeah, that's a steal. And if anybody doesn't know, this is a Dean, Dave Mustaine's signature Death Angel 2 Explorer. And this thing is set up in E standard for Megadeth, Metallica, some Anthrax, you know, a bunch of that kind of stuff for this guitar. Mainly Metallica and Megadeth, because those are my two favorite out of the big four. And I just love their stuff and love to play it. So I'll show you my amp real fast too. This here is a PV Spider, or no, not Spider, Viper. Whoops, Viper 15-watt modeling amplifier. It's got all these built-in effects here. Thing is, I can't really mess with them, because if I do, and I get a tone I like, once I turn my amp off and turn it back on, it resets. So there's a way you could probably save that setting. It's just I never really cared to explore to find out how. So I just leave it the way it is because I like the way it sounds. Got this thing for $50. It was half off for a summer deal at my pawn shop, and it was pretty nice because all I had before then was a little $18, was it Fender? No, Squier. It was a Squier practice amp, which was like a third of the size of this thing. And I just upgraded to this for $50, which I think it was a steal at the time, but it served me well so far, and I'm really satisfied with it. Another guitar I forgot to show you was this one right here. It's a Goma. It's a 40-year-old acoustic guitar that I got from my cousin. He didn't play it anymore, so he gave it to me. And the bridge here is kind of coming up on the body. It's just starting to wear out over time, so the action on the strings kind of suck. But it is a good sounding guitar. I pick it up from time to time, but not a lot. So, in general, if you find this, welcome to my channel. If you want to keep tuning in, go ahead. If not, I'm not gonna promise I'm gonna be posting a lot, but when I get a good idea, or if I'm wanting to do something, I'll post on here. So that is my guitar collection. Feel free to compliment, roast, or just not even say anything in the comments if you see it. Other than that, welcome to the channel, and I will see you guys later.